What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny. Back and hit one more reaction video, ladies and gentlemen. And today I got a good one from a guy that I look forward to sitting down with one day and having a great conversation with. That's Dr. Jordan Peterson. And this video is titled, "It Is Not Okay to Be Weak." And we live in a society where we got a lot of men, well, I would say boys, who have been raised without fathers, so they've never had anyone lift them up. So Jordan is doing this thing on the internet, and I'm here to share some manly wisdom as well. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Get yourself on in here now. As I've said, the goal is to reach 1 million subscribers and start 1 million thought-provoking conversations. However, if we hit that 100 million mark, we kill the narratives in the world. We just spirits encased in human flesh trying to figure out this thing called life. Not nearly as divided as the mainstream media is trying to make it seem. So if you like what you hear in this video, share it far and wide.
It's not okay for you to be a weak loser. It's not okay. And the reason it's not okay is because you could be way more than that. And it's a crime, an ethical crime, for you to allow all that necessary potential to go to waste. It hurts you, it hurts your family, it hurts the world. Really, really, it does. And people think, oh, okay, I get it. And they do get it because they know it's.
One thing that I'll say, every single one of us is born with greatness inside of us. We all have genius. We all come from infinite intelligence. We all are connected to the Creator. But your environment slowly strips you of your greatness. If you don't have parents who uplift you, if you don't go to a school to let you know that creativity is key, then you never learn to believe in yourself, and you never learn that you can do anything, that you can accomplish anything, and every material thing that you see around you starting as an idea. You are new to this world, therefore you can present new ideas. It's crazy how our greatness and our genius is kept on lock, but it's okay, man. We're here to share the wisdom far and wide. Everybody can has unlimited potential to be whatever they want to be. You know what you're good at. You know what you're willing to work hard at. Put one foot in front of the other day by day and watch what you get out of it.
Some level, if you turn around and you confront the suffering voluntarily, you find out that you are way tougher than you think. It's not that life is better than you think. Life is as harsh as you think. It might even be worse, but you are way tougher than you think. If
Never ask for life to be easier. Always work to get better, work to get stronger, work to become a better version of yourself. Never run from any challenge at all.
Turn around and confront it. And so then what you discover is that there's a spirit within you that can pursue something meaningful, that has the resilience and the strength to contend properly with the catastrophe of existence without becoming bitter. That's actually the central. So
literally, and I'm gonna share a personal story right there. Everyone always says they don't know what they would do if they lost their mom, or if they lost their dad, or if their family member died, or if their dog died. I was 18 years old when my first son passed away at birth from trisomy 18. You know, a lot of people say they would have fell apart. I had no choice but to keep going. I was 22 years old when my second son passed away at 4.5 months from SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. I had no choice but to keep going. I was 25 when my mother overdosed on opioids. I had no choice but to keep going. And what I've learned through my trials and tribulations in life is why in the moment it may not make sense of why you're going through something so hard. Once you get through it on the other side, you can look back. And when I say, man, every loss that I felt I had in the physical world, I've gained so much knowledge in the spiritual world, if that makes sense to you.
And I would say that's one of the central themes of 12 Rules for Life, is that make no mistake about it. Like the first noble truth of Buddhism, life is suffering. This is true. And it's worse than that because it's suffering contaminated by malevolence. That's the baseline. And so that's very pessimistic. But the optimistic part is that you are so damn tough, you can actually not only deal with that, you can improve it. It's like, oh, well, that's a horrible situation. But it turns out that I'm armed for the task. Well, that's a great thing for people to know. And I do believe, I think the fact that we're armed for the task is even more true than the fact that life is catastrophe contaminated by malevolence. We're stronger than things are terrible. And things are pretty terrible. So that means we're pretty damn strong.
Wow.
Yes, it's a very good thing to know. And it's not naive optimism. It's a very different thing. It's like, no, things are terrible. They're brutal. And you are so damn tough, you can't believe it. You know, the idea that in some sense you're an eternal victim, well, there's a truth in that, given that nature is conspiring to destroy you and will be successful in the end. that you're undermined by your own society at the same time you're buttressed by it, and that you're a target of your own malevolence and that of others. I mean, so there's a triad of...
And with the state of victimhood that's going around in the world, you know, I always say you have to think anyway. Why not think big? Why not think positive? You know, you can spend your time thinking on negative things, but if you've read As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, if you've studied Ralph Waldo Emerson, if you've listened to Napoleon Hill, but Earl Nightingale, the Strangest Secret in the World, we all know that you become what you think about, and where attention goes, energy flows. So think positive, think abundance, think prosperity, and watch what you attract into your life.
Tragic and malevolent forces that are aimed directly at your heart, and that's always the case. But to not take responsibility for that and to attribute to that to a cosmic injustice or a sociological injustice in some sense that's aimed particularly at you, that's somehow the fault of others, is to miss the great adventure of your life. In that adoption of that adventurous mode of being, there's a deep meaning to be found, right? A meaning maybe that transcends just you, that involves your family and that involves your community and maybe even the destiny of humanity itself. But there's nothing about that that's secure or easy, and very little that has to do with happiness. The idea that your problems should be solved for you, let's say, and that it's unfair that you have them, well, it's attractive in that there's nothing for you to do except complain, but it's horrifying in that there's nothing for you to do except complain. The difficulty is actually, the funny thing is the difficulty is actually...
You know, I don't think most people really want to be a victim. I just think they're scared of the responsibility of their life really actually being in their hands and them having to make it better or make it worse. You know, I say if you come from bad parents, if you come from a bad environment, once you hit 18, it's up to you to change that. Your life is your fault. And I'll say that the key to peace and the key to happiness for me was forgiving my parents. They were just people. They didn't know what they were doing. And I don't know what I'm doing raising my children. I'm sure when they grow up, they'll say, Daddy, you could have done X, Y, and Z better. We wish you this one. And we all have things that we put our expectations of life on other people. But when you take your power back and stop expecting things of others and realize you can do whatever you want yourself, man, you look at the world through a different set of eyes.
Actually the destiny, and it is insanely difficult, but maybe you're insanely up to the task. The problem with the pursuit of happiness is that when life's storms come along, happiness disappears, and then you're left with nothing. And so you need to pursue something that's deeper than happiness. And if happiness comes along, well then, hooray for you. You don't want to despise it because it's fleeting, but it's much better to pursue things that are meaningful than things that make you happy. It's deeper, and it orients you more appropriately, and it keeps you centered in your own life. It makes you more useful for your family and your community. So a lot of what people find in life that provides them with a sustaining meaning is a consequence of not the pursuit of rights or the pursuit of happiness or the development of self-esteem, but the adoption of responsibility. And the more responsibility, in some sense, the better. Responsibility for yourself, for making sure that your life lays itself out like it should. Responsibility.
I 100% agree with that. I became a father at the age of 20. And you talking about responsibility on 10, it changed everything about me. I wouldn't be who I am today if I wasn't handed a baby girl and it was up to me to navigate her through this life. It may seem like whatever you're going through, man, this is so tough. Why do I got to deal with this? Me and my little brother was paying bills at 15 and 14 years old. You know, our lights was getting cut off. Our gas was getting cut off. Our cable was getting cut off. You name it. It was getting cut off on a consistent basis. But now how resilient I am as a man and my brother is as a man, even though politically we think 100% differently, he's standing on his own 2 feet providing for his family. That comes from the hardship of growing up in the City Union Mission. Mama on Section 8, watching the people walk through our house, do their Section 8 inspection with their clipboard. All of that was motivating that I'll never be in this situation again, nor will my children ever experience anything like this.
For your family, responsibility for the community. It's people who take responsibility that are the ones that you admire, and that's the right pathway through
Fatherhood is
life.
duty.
That's where meaning is to be found. And I think that's probably the crucial issue, is that identification of a profound relationship between responsibility and meaning. And for many of the people that I'm talking with, it seems like that's the first time that that's been articulated for them.
We gotta pause it right here. We gotta pause this one. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to someone else today. We live in a world, especially with social media, man, it's really easy to be scrolling and just compare where you are to somebody else. Don't do that. That's so negative, it's so self-defeating. Give yourself credit for where you are, what you've overcome, what you've been through in life. Every single one of us is fighting a battle that nobody else can see. And they say comparison is a thief of joy. And keep your joy to yourself. Don't let nobody take that from you. Faith, consistency, hard work, we all have greatness inside of us, all of us. We all connected to the same infinite intelligence, and we all could put new ideas out into this world to uplift somebody, to make somebody smile. So don't compare yourself to me. Don't compare yourself to Jordan Peterson, but you are great. You are beautiful. You are special. You are talented. No matter what your parents say, no matter what your teachers say, no matter what the news and your timeline is saying, you know in your heart that nothing is stopping you outside of you. Put one foot in front of the other and keep moving. When the lights is on, it's time to shine. I don't want to be nobody else but me. And you shouldn't want to be nobody else but you.
If you want to hear more insights from Dr. Jordan
If you
Peterson,
ain't checked out 12 Rules of Life, man, for sure check out that book. And so much wisdom comes from this, man, and a lot of wisdom is missing in the world. I say, man, I'm grateful to grow up with my father. 18 years of my life in the home with my dad. And then knowing my grandfather. Man, just having a connection to the men above me, it pays such dividends now. And then when you're a child, you think you need a certain amount of money. Your family needs to drive a certain car. You need to have all these little things that you think matter. But the conversations that I had with my grandpa, that I had with my dad, man, they made me a superhuman. I always say, man, I'm bulletproof walking around because I got the confidence of the men inside of me that there's nothing stopping me but me, no excuses. And every weapon that comes to me from the devil, God turns for good. And I'm walking in pure abundance, man. I'm covered. The Holy Spirit got me, and the Holy Spirit got you too. You just got to turn inside and understand that. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the key is in. As Albert Einstein said, imagination is life attraction of what's coming. So what are you thinking about? What are you imagining? Write the vision down and make it plain. I keep a notebook with me at all times. I'm always journaling. Write down your thoughts. Manifest them into reality. Until next time, we out.